Good morning, pals. Welcome back to 100 Miles, 100 Days on a $100 treadmill. It is day 91. We have 9 more days to go till our trip to Disneyland. I'm Tanya, and what we do is we walk for a mile. I edit that down to about 20 minutes, and we talk about Disneyland. We look at crafts that I'm making, and so come take a walk. Let's go. All right, pals, you ready to get this started? Here comes the countdown. Come on, everybody, here we go. And let's ramp it up. Everything's falling off the table. Day 91. 9 more days to go till Disney. I'm getting a little bit excited. I mean, I've been excited this whole time to have that, that goal out there for myself. And, like I said yesterday, it's a little bit overwhelming right now because I know how much work I still have to do between now and then, and it's like I need to stay on course, stay on target, and not not lose focus for these next 9 days and get this challenge completed, because dropping the ball this late in the game would be devastating. So just not gonna do it. Chris is helping me so much with planning, like the hike we're gonna do this weekend, and helping me to get all of the, get these last 9 days really focused in on what we're doing and when we're doing it, so that I can be successful, and then, what we're going to be doing in Disneyland for that 100th mile. And I'm just so grateful that I have a great partner and workmate that just sits down with me and says, let's get this figured out. Let's work out a plan. Let's do this together. And I don't have to, I get to ask for help in the way that I need it, and that's pretty awesome. So thanks, babe. And so I did finish up the Goofy patch, so we'll look at that at the end of the video. And the thing I wanted to talk to you about today is the 70th celebration nights that are going on. So there was one that happened on Tuesday, and there's one that's happening tonight, and it's specifically for the 70th anniversary, but this is only a 2-night celebration, which I think is interesting. So I think it's maybe something that they're trying and seeing how it works. If it does work for people. I watched some videos last night. I did the research, so you don't have to. And I watched what some people that attended on Tuesday and what they saw and how they felt about it. I am opening up the Disneyland app, and it's going through its opening screens. And what we're going to do is we're going to click the 3 lines at the far right on the bottom, the hamburger button, and we're going to scroll down till we see Plan My Next Visit, and we're going to click Buy Tickets. We're going to click Special Event Tickets. and give it time to come up. So the very first one you see there is the Disneyland After Dark 70 Years of Favorites. They are select nights in March of 2026. Honestly, I wish I had started this challenge about 9 days earlier so I could be doing this tonight, because I will tell you why when we get into this. So what I'm going to do is select tickets. So you can see that this is happening. If we scroll down, you'll see that this is happening tonight, March 5th. And then it also, it occurred on the 3rd as well. So what this is telling me is that there are tickets available for tonight. So it is day of this event, and there are still tickets available. That is something that if I was there, I would absolutely take advantage of. I would get the special events ticket. I wouldn't pay for a ticket for today. I would just do the special event ticket, because there's already a limited amount of people that can be in the park, and that number of people has not been reached yet. So I could select the 2 tickets, number of tickets, and then the day. So it would be $318 to go to this special event. For me, that would be worth it, to be able to be in the park, knowing that there is, like I said, a limited number of spaces available for people to be there, and knowing that it's not sold out. Also understanding that, like, night 1 is the night that, usually the first night of any of these special ticketed events are the nights that all of the, like, influencers and stuff go. So there tends to be more people on the opening night for these things than do the subsequent nights. So the videos that I watched where people were attending the one on Tuesday, they were literally walking onto rides. Like even Space Mountain was just straight, like just straight through, straight onto the ride. 5-minute waits on everything. The only land that wasn't open was Batuu, so Star Wars Land was not open, but everything else was. And walk-on rides everywhere, very few people in the park. Something like that would be just heaven for me, to be able to feel like I had the park to myself. And then it has all of the extras, like there were lots of characters for meet and greets. They had out some of the iconic little snails that were in the electric light parade were out for photo ops. The one video that I watched, he waited like an hour and a half just to get photos with those electric light parade vehicles. And that's not something I would totally be interested in, but it would be interesting to be able to see them and take a picture from afar. I don't always need to get a picture of myself with stuff. So that wouldn't necessarily be like high on my list of things I wanted to do with an after hours party. I get a lot of joy out of riding as many rides as I can in short amount of time, and then also being able to experience the entertainment, and there were like dance parties, and it just looked like a lot of fun. I think it would be, if I was anywhere close, I would be getting myself a ticket and going and doing that. And I don't think I have my So, awesome. Just recorded 10 minutes of content without my microphone on. So, sorry about the first half of this because I am not necessarily going to go back and record the whole thing again. I think that would dampen my spirit for today. And I've started off on the good foot, as people say. Maybe people don't say that anymore. I don't know. I think it was a James Brown thing, right? Get up on your good foot. Get on your good foot. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually see what Disneyland is doing without us today. And I'm going to open the Disneyland app again. Wait for it to go through its screen. And then we're going to click the plus button that's at the bottom in the middle. We're going to click Book Lightning Lane Entry that's at the bottom of that menu. And then up at the top where it says My Day, what's highlighted, we're going to click over to highlighting Tip Board. And this is going to show us what Disneyland looks like today. So again, Disneyland is closing early today because of the special ticketed event tonight. So it's closing at 8. The special ticketed event technically starts at 9. People can be in there as early as 6 for the ticketed event. So you have a 3-hour mix-in window. So the park technically closes at 8. They funnel people out by 9 o'clock who are not part of the who don't have a ticket and a lanyard. So these days tend to be a little bit lighter because there's a perceived loss of value if you pay for a ticket on a day that the park closes early. A lot of people will choose not to go to the park that day because they perceive that that last 2 hours from 8 to 10 that they would get on another day has a greater value than it really does. Because what happens with the fewer amount of people in the park, you get a bigger value by not having to wait in lines for as long. And we're going to take a look at these lightning lanes and standby queues just to see if my theory is correct. So, Alice in Wonderland temporarily closed. Astro Orbiter is at 35 minutes, so that doesn't go along with our theory. But Autopia is at 10, Big Thunder is at 15. We've got pretty low wait times. Haunted Mansion's at 15 minutes. Indiana Jones is at 40 with a return time of 2:30. So it's 12 o'clock right now. Has a 2.5-hour return time for Indiana Jones. That's really low. Everything else, very low. Matterhorn has a 40-minute standby with a 12:50 return time. That's also low. I mean, everything is just, it's a light day in the park. Space Mountain's at 45 minutes with a return time of 1:55. Star Wars Rise of the Resistance is at 40 minutes. Tiana's is at 25. So you can see just from those numbers that people have chosen to stay away today. Let's switch over to DCA. And see, there you go. Mission Breakout has a 55-minute wait, and even at 12 o'clock has a lightning lane available at 6:25. So we're pretty used to the fact that Guardians is sold out by this time. When I looked this morning, Guardians had like a 15-minute wait. So it's, Incredicoaster has a 50-minute wait. I'm a little confused. They must have fewer cars on the track than normal, because Incredicoaster has been solidly at a higher wait time than it should be for quite some time now. But everything else is pretty much those standard times. Radiator Springs is up to 75 minutes, but it has a Lightning Lane single pass experience down at $18 for the day, which is pretty low for them, with a return time of right now for that single pass experience. So people, what that means is people aren't choosing to do the single pass experience, which means that it's not that busy. Probably if we were there and went and stood in that line, we could see that it wasn't a 75-minute line, would be my guess, with the way everything else looks. Yeah. I can speculate all day long. Clearly, I can speculate for 91 days in a row about what's happening in Disneyland when I'm not there. So anyway, with all of that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the conclusion of that Goofy patch. All right, we will move on to the next part of embroidery. All right, pals, now we're gonna cut this guy out. All right, there he is. Goofy's ready to go on the skirt too. Do, 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 do. And there it is, 1 mile. Good job, pals. All right, fantastic job today again, pals. Thanks for joining me for another 100 miles, 100 days on a $100 treadmill. I'm Tanya. That was my cat Crookshanks. Those are my ears for today. And we'll see you back here again tomorrow for day 92 with only 8 more days to go. Bye, pals. I've been doing this for 10 freaking minutes.
Woo. That's why I always hold on to the bar. Do, 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 do.